Hey, good Monday morning. Today, I wanted to take a moment and capitalize on this amazing post that I've been talking to Sarah Watley about. She actually did a little bit of a pie chart based on the podcast episode that I recently did with Heidi Weinberg, Fashion Designers Get Paid. If you haven't gone and listened to the podcast episode yet, we've had a lot of really great comments and a lot of really great reviews on it, so you should head over and listen. I'm going to do some screen sharing today, so this might be a little bit clunky. Bear with me. But what I wanted to do was first share Sarah's post and just kind of let you know what she had put up on LinkedIn and how it differs a little bit from kind of what we've been talking about. So Sarah went ahead and actually she forwarded this pie chart to me the other week and kind of was checking in on some stuff to make sure, like, obviously I was cool with her sharing this. And yes, of course I am. Like, the more information that we can get out, the better. So let's just share as much information as she can. She came up with this amazing fashion startup budget. And it aligns quite a bit with the new pie chart resources that we've been trying to share with the community. It's a brand new free ebook that you can download from us. And so I'll be sure to get you the link, but it's just thebusinessofapparel.com/pie, Pie. And you can go ahead and get the first 10 years of pie charts like this from us. And so I'm going to show you that here in a little bit too. But I wanted to let you know, so she and I are very, very aligned when it comes to actually the inventory split on what you're probably going to be spending in your first years. I think our percentage is like 51%. And so hers looks very, very similar here, maybe like a 49 or a 50%. Where we differ here just a little bit is she's actually allocated quite a bit more to hiring team. So she's saying here that you would want to hire a product development team, a marketing and a sales team, or at least spend that much on product development and marketing and sales. And the way that I always like to encourage people is to hire experts in these areas unless you are already an expert in one of the areas. So I just wanted to show her chart here because it was very, very robust. She actually broke down the expenses into what she thinks you're going to be spending in the way of like business formation, website and e-com, contingency budget, and an overhead budget. And so I just wanted you to see this first. You should head over to Sarah's page, check out her stuff. She is doing some great work here. And so I just wanted to share that first. But what I also wanted to share today, let's see if I can do this quickly for you. Share. Canva's always a little bit clunky. Sorry, guys. I'm getting there. Getting there. Oh, not that one. This is why going live is always a risk, but we're brave and we do it anyway, right? Okay, let's see. I'm going to share this new screen. So these are our pie charts that we've been taking a look at and what we've been kind of sharing with the world, if you will, on what we expect you to spend in your first year. So again, this 51% for inventory, we expect you in your first year to be allocating quite a bit of money to inventory because you're going to want to bring in your first purchase order after you actually do all of your development and you're ready to start spending money on inventory and bringing that in to start selling. It's going to be quite a big chunk of your money. And so what we then recommend that you do is take about 28% of your budget and start hiring team. And we want you to hire sooner rather than later. I have a really, really good friend who has been talking to me for a really long time about whether or not she should be hiring for her business. And every time we have this conversation, I say to her, yes, please start hiring for your business. You are running yourself ragged. You are burning yourself out. You need to hire someone to come start taking work off of your plate so that you can step into your CEO role and you can start making more money. Now, the way that it works is that as you hire people to take things off of your plate, you have more bandwidth to go out and find new clients or do extra work or work on your sales tactics or work on your marketing. There is so much more opportunity for you as the CEO and the face of your brand if you're not inundated with doing the work, the day-to-day work every single day. So that's why we want you to start hiring team. If you're a marketing expert, you don't need to hire someone for marketing. You can still do that stuff. That's great. But you might want to bring someone in to help you with sales. You might want to bring someone in to help you with product development. You might also find that you are going to then have to have some expenses. Of course, just like Sarah said, she broke it down really well. You're definitely going to need to pay for a website domain. You're probably going to need to pay, like, let's say you're on Shopify. Shopify has fees. You're going to have to pay some of that. You'll want to have a little bit of business insurance to protect yourself and your business. So that will cost you a little bit of money. Anything that adds up, those are your business expenses. If you're traveling, if you're going to trade shows, if you're doing anything like that, that all needs to go into your business expenses. We would like for you to consider about 14% of your first year budget to be going toward expenses. And then because we have put together this ebook and this document to try to help you understand how to get to the fastest profitability as you can, we expect in your first year that you will be making profits, which means you will also owe a little bit in taxes. Now, you're going to be able to deduct all of your expenses. You're going to be able to deduct your team expenses. You're going to be able to deduct your inventory purchases. So instead of feeling like you have to save 25 to 35% for taxes in this first year, the way it breaks down when I crunch all the numbers, it's really only 7% of your budget. But you do want to plan for that, and that's going to actually help you because you're going to be getting to profitability. You only owe taxes if you're profitable. So this is something that we want you to plan for. Now, our spreadsheet actually goes into the first 10 years. So I'm going to stop sharing this here real quick. But I do want to share with you what it looks like with actual numbers. So this spreadsheet, hold on, let me get to the right thing here. Again, sorry, I apologize. It's a little bit clunky, but we're going to get there. Share %. You move over here, you go over here. Okay, now this chart we've put together based on a lot of the advice that we've been giving recently. Whether you hate it, you love it, whatever, we're actually getting a lot of validation on the information that we've been sharing here. We encourage, I guess is the right word, you to consider raising as much as $200,000 to start your brand. And you're probably looking at me right now like I'm crazy pants, and that's fine. But it is not cheap to start an apparel brand. And it is a lifelong commitment basically to starting any entrepreneurial endeavor. I guess it doesn't have to be lifelong, but if it's something that you love and you're going into business for all the right reasons, you actually want it to be lifelong. Like you're trying to create this business and this job and this life for yourself where you can be the CEO of a company that brings you wealth, millions and millions of dollars, allows you to provide good jobs for an entire team, do great things out in the world. You can donate money when you have all of that wealth. You can get great products out into the world. You can have an entire full collection of apparel. You can have the apparel business of your dreams, the more and more money that you make. Now, to start with next to nothing is not going to get you very far, very fast. It's possible, but when we encourage you to save up to $200,000 to start your brand, it's so that you can start off on the right foot and the profits that you start bringing in end up being very substantial. The plan that we have put together in this ebook, The Self-Sustaining Fashion Brand, Fund Your Dreams Once, basically has you starting with a fundraising round of $200,000 upfront as you start your brand. You're starting your social media, you're starting to do your designing, you're starting to do your development. You've got low fees while you're going through those different things, but you are fundraising. You're trying to get to $200,000. There are different ways that you can do that. You can ask people for money. You can do a GoFundMe page, although I really recommend that you don't, because you want your profits to be 100% yours when you come in. You don't want to be doing a Kickstarter where the profits that are actually coming in are going right back out the door. A lot of people that we've talked to have said that Kickstarters are more marketing tactics, and it's a great way to do marketing, but it's not always a profitable way to start a business. So I just want to caution you there. You can ask friends and family. You can try to get business loans. We have an amazing client who is using some of her home equity to actually be able to start her business. And so there are a lot of different ways that you can raise that $200,000. And this is then how we break that down. So it's the exact same percentages here, but in the full ebook, we're going to give you all the numbers that actually correlate to it. So we would expect you to spend twice a year, $65,000 in each purchase order. So as you start the year, you're going to place a $65,000 purchase order. You're going to get that inventory in. You're going to start to sell it on a certain cadence that we also have set up for you in this ebook. And then 6 months later, you're going to place another PO for $65,000. That gets you to the $130,000 that we expect you to spend in inventory in your first year if you have been able to raise that $200,000. Your team is going to cost you a little over $70,000 in that first year. And we have a lot of great advice on how you should be allocating that to team, depending on who you're hiring for product development, who you're hiring for marketing and for sales. And then your taxes come out to just a little under $18,000 based on the profit that we expect you to see by the end of the year. And then your expenses are around $36,000, a little less than $36,000. So again, when you're breaking that down by month, that's $3,000 a month that you're spending on expenses. And when you think about, Shopify being $40 a month, maybe your business insurance being $100 a month, maybe you have a website domain that you've paid and it's $10 a month. These kinds of things add up fast, but you can keep your expenses low. And so if you are able to zhuzh your numbers, you can actually do this in a pretty cool way. And so as you start to see these numbers, this is what I want you to understand that we're kind of recommending, or what we're encouraging you to be able to see. And what I want to do here, I'm going to actually show you a little bit more of this ebook, because I think it's kind of important to expand on what exactly it is that we're trying to get out to you in the way of information. So year one, you've saved up that $200,000, right? That's amazing. It's not a small feat to try to save $200,000. Trust me. I've started my own company. I know what I started with. I started my own company. Now it's all completely digital and online, but I started my company with $15,000. That was it. And so raising 200,000 would have felt very daunting to me too. But it also indicates, I think, to you and your mindset and your team and whoever you hire that you're pretty damn serious about this, right? If you're actually raising $200,000. So as we go into the eventual pages, how to spend your money in year one, we're showing it to you in a slightly different way. This is the exact same information though that we're basically putting into the pie chart. Now, the page that's in between though is what we expect you to be spending in each quarter. So like I said, in Q1 and Q3, you're spending that $65,000 on your inventory. In column 2 is what we want you to try to be making in the way of gross sales. So we've broken down when you basically receive your inventory and how much we want you to start making by making those sales. And so this is, again, why we tend to encourage people to hire someone to help them with sales. Because if you're trying to hit all of these goal numbers, you're going to need someone who knows what they're talking about and what they're doing. And then we've put in there what your general expenses are going to be outside of inventory so that you can see how it breaks down again in yet another way. People see things differently. People need visuals in different ways. And so we've had 1, 2, 3 different visuals per year that we're going to actually break down for you. And then at year one end, we definitely want you to start seeing profitability. We expect you to be making a 60% margin per unit. Those are very key, important things that you need to be doing as you're building your brand. And then going into year 2, we break that down a little bit further. These are your numbers in year 2. This is what we want you to be selling. This is what we want you to be buying. Again, if you need someone to come in and help you market and help you sell, these are key things for you to start considering. This is how year 2 pie chart breaks down and the different percentages. You're actually spending a little bit more on inventory. To make money, you do have to spend money. And so having all of that inventory on your books helps you to sell more inventory on your books. And so what we have put into this ebook is if you can start with $200,000 and you can get into profitability in year 1 by hitting your sales goals numbers, we don't think you will ever need to fundraise ever again. Your profits are going to propel your own brand forward. In this business plan, the way that we've written it out, you basically hit 7 figures by year 6, which might seem like a really long time, but trust me, that is a really, really solid business plan to be at $1 million gross revenue company by year 6. And then by year 11, I think it is, we actually have you hitting $5 million. And from there, it's exponential growth. So you've probably heard of, the overnight success story is actually a decade in the making. That's 100% what this plan is. After a decade of working in your apparel brand, you are going to see so much exponential growth that it is going to propel you into the multi-million-dollar range for the next decade of your brand. If you're not willing to work for a decade in your brand, you might want to rethink whether or not the apparel industry is right for you. So check out Sarah's page. Sarah, thank you so much for the shout out. Have a great Monday. Have a great week ahead. If you guys want this ebook, head over to thebusinessofapparel.com/pie. You can get the free ebook with just the general percentages, see what it looks like for the first 10 years of your business in that way. If you want the full ebook with all the numbers, you can then go ahead and head over and get that. There is a link for it on the pie page. So thanks so much for your time today. Have a great week ahead. Again, I'll talk to you soon.